Whoa, what the flip? This is an infinitely long room indoors, a room which, as its name suggests, goes on and on forever and ever. It is unending quite literally. Now, although a room like this doesn't exist currently in the game, it can theoretically be added, and that is what I'd like to discuss today. Hold on, don't click off yet, I promise this will be interesting. So, in this video, we'll be diving into the logistics of how an infinitely long room can actually exist indoors. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so something you probably noticed with the release of the content update was the revamp of basement rooms. Essentially, in the hotel, players can encounter a basement room every so often. These are maze-like cellars that hide a lever within their walls, and in order to progress with the game, you must venture into the hallways of these rooms, pull the lever, then make your way back to the room's exit in order to continue. Now, if you've played several rounds of the hotel, you'll notice that each and every time you encounter a basement, it will look vastly different than any other time one is encountered, and this is intentional by design. You see, in the content update, an entirely new system was put into place which controls how basement rooms generate. The way it works is that a random number within a certain range is chosen, and then various different mini-rooms are randomly arranged in order to form a completely unique basement layout every single time. This number chosen corresponds to the basement's length, meaning the higher the number, the longer the basement will be. This means that all those times where players have found very tiny basements that are just one room wide is just the game picking a very low number by random chance. However, this layout generation method actually allows us to create an infinitely long doors room for the first time ever in the game's history. As I had stated, a number out of a certain range is chosen to determine the basement's length. However, this range isn't concrete at all, and it can and has been changed. For example, Room 61, which is always guaranteed to be a dark basement room, has a range that is double the one of normal rooms, meaning on average it is twice as large as normal basements, as the numbers chosen are twice as large. I think you can see where I'm going with this, but this means that if we just plug in an incredibly large number into the generator, it will spit out an incredibly large room layout. This is where we can get our infinitely large room. Now, I use the term infinite loosely here as it technically isn't unending, but it could be so large that it takes several hours to reach the end of it. And that is basically just infinity. If we just plug in a catastrophically large number, such as the integer limit or something like that, an absolute behemoth of a cellar room would spawn, stretching way farther than anything you could ever anticipate. However, the room's unending length isn't the craziest part of generating a basement like this, but instead it is how it could be beaten. As you may know, in order to escape a typical basement room, you must find and pull a lever hidden on one of the walls, and better yet, only a singular lever spawns per basement room. This means that if we generated our infinity basement, somewhere hiding within the unfathomably long cellar would be the lever required to escape. Finding it would be nearly impossible though, as it's a needle in an absolutely colossal haystack. Yet with enough time, and I'm talking several hours, it could theoretically be found. However, given how long this cellar room is, it's very unlikely the lever would be anywhere near the basement's entrance, meaning just walking to it and walking back could take an ungodly amount of time. Really, this whole room and the thought of beating it is just an eldritch horror which shouldn't even be thought of. But yeah, that was essentially the whole video. To summarize, given the very unique way basement rooms are generated, it's possible one of infinite, or technically extremely large length, could be created, and that means finding the lever within the functionally unending hallways is a feat that is nearly impossible to achieve. So, with all of that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of this infinity room, and thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.